Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of The Globe Talks with Traders, where you can learn the ins and outs of crypto trading. This week, I'm delighted to welcome onto the show Wayne Lee, founder at Baekdu Technologies. Watch on to find out about their absolute return strategies and how you can thrive in a market crash. On to the interview. Hey, Wayne, how are you?
Hey, nice to meet. I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm good, thank you. Can you tell us a little bit about your background and how you entered into the crypto sphere?
Oh, sure. I had a fantasy about finance since when I was young. I was like so determined to go into the financial district. So I always looked at like movies about Wall Street, and then when I actually got into the financial district, it was really disappointing. Like everything was just happening as it happened 10 years ago, 20 years ago. Everyone was doing the same thing. Um, and like I feel like I wanted to just do something, be in an industry that was actually growing and expanding and doing something that other people haven't done. So it was really hard to find that niche market until I ran into Bitcoin in 2017. That was actually when I first heard about it, which is pretty late because I hear people like they heard about it in 2012, maybe 2010. It was like the first time I heard about it, and that was just like so into it. I I started right away the 2 weeks after I heard about it, I started like a crypto mining farm and I started mining Bitcoin. Then I was like, okay, I should maybe work in the industry. So I moved into an exchange. I worked there for 2 years, and then I found the company in 2020, and that brought me here.
So, before we go on to your company, Baekdu Technologies, let's talk a little bit about, how my team found you. So we found you off a trading leaderboard of another exchange, which I won't name. So could you tell us about how you got yourself on these trading leaderboards, and does that relate to the absolute return strategy that you promise on your website?
So it's actually not related.
Right.
And our company only makes profit off of absolute returns like arbitrage, basis trading, etc., etc. But how we got on the leaderboard was because of our prop fund. We do high risk, highly event driven trades for the prop fund. And we were doing trades with Luna. And thankfully, we didn't do any shorts. I hear that a lot of people were damaged by the shorts because the rebounds were really strong at some points in the middle. We were just waiting for a point for Luna to bottom out, and there was only one trigger for Luna to bottom out. What was bringing the price down was like the infinite minting feature of Luna, where they mint Luna out of UST. And as soon as they stopped the feature, we bought into Luna and we made like way more than 10x. And that's how we got into the leaderboard.
All right. So can you talk a little bit more about what you guys do at Baekdu Technologies?
Yeah, sure. So we're a system trading company. What differentiates us is that we're a DeFi on-chain fund. This concept is still very new, even in the States. We're thinking there's maybe like four big funds doing a DeFi on-chain fund. The biggest one is made by Valkyrie, which is one of the pioneers in the Bitcoin ETF market. I'm sure you guys heard about it. So Valkyrie in November launched the DeFi on-chain fund, which AUM is $100 million. And basically what they said they do is they do lending, staking, carry trading in the DeFi market, which we think is very, I guess, elementary entrance at this stage. But we definitely understand because other platforms have a lot of risk in the contract itself, but we do take that risk. So what we do is we trade on Uniswap v3, Perpetual Protocol, DYDX, GMX, Open, like whatever derivatives that's on the on-chain, DeFi on-chains ecosystem. So we've been doing pretty decently. One of the most difficult part that we have for specifically for our company is that we have to do due diligence on the smart contracts. while centralized traders can basically just use Binance and be safe with it and be excused from a lot of legal pressures. So yeah, we're a DeFi on-chain fund, the only one in South Korea.
As a DeFi system trading company, do you find that the rest of the crypto market affects Baekdu on a day-to-day basis? I know you were talking about, Luna earlier. So yeah, can you tell us a bit about that?
I mean, the answer is like so much. Like, I guess everybody is impacted really, really. I'm thinking like nobody is not affected, like especially trading. Like, so our profit rate was like 400% of AUM last year, but this is probably not like the most amazing performance. Like we know some companies, even in Korea, they made like 4x, 5x out of like 100 million AUM funds. But this year we're um, much lower than last year. We're expecting our goal was to outperform Anchor until Anchor really went out of business. Kind of like maybe 20% is still too high for this market. Like, and seeing like a lot of players domestically and internationally go down with the fall of Anchor, we were just like maybe like Celsius, those kind of companies, we were confident that a lot of companies couldn't make 20% per annum and they were just being reliant on Anchor. So we're probably targeting for 20% absolute return this year. Yeah, we're happy that we're confident that the bear market is already here. It's been rolling in since maybe 6 months ago. We just haven't noticed it because there's so much liquidity in the market. But we're happy that it's here. We're happy a lot of players are leaving because we're ready to be here for another year and a half, which we expect the bear market to uh, be continue for. And yeah, so optimistic, but definitely impacted.
Yeah. So what is it about a bear market that you particularly like trading in?
Oh, we don't like trading in the bear market. It's just
Right.
that when the bull market comes, we're just going to be so happy, you know? It's going to be
Absolutely.
like, oh, suddenly we do 10 times better than last year, you know? 10 times bonuses and like everybody's just happy. We already experienced it last year. We knew it wasn't going to go forever. But what I think what makes us differentiates us a little bit is that we're also we also build exchanges. So we run some DeFi applications, which was like a obvious expansion of our business since all of our trading happens on chain and all of our developers are blockchain developers. So like FTX started from Alameda Research, and WooX also started from Kronos. So trading teams basically have this competitiveness, and they have a great understanding of products, derivatives, and they have matching engines of their own. So it makes expanding into exchanges like maybe like an obvious choice, and the results are pretty positive in many cases. So it also applies for us. We're also getting ready to make derivatives DEX, and we think this market is definitely going to 100 more than 100x. And we're just happy that all our competitors are mostly gone because there is the bear market. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah, and they say most projects are built during a bear market, no?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so the silver linings, huh? Let's kind of circle back a little and talk more about the UST Luna situation. So, what I would love to know is, what do you think of the way Do Kwon handled everything?
There's definitely positive and negative aspects to it. Some things were done pretty well, some things were done pretty bad. Let me talk about the bad thing first. So what was done? Well, bad decision that was made was to not stop the minting model where they could mint Luna out of UST. So that went for maybe more than 72 hours. Arbitrageurs were just like free money like every single minute. And that's what brought Luna's price down to maybe a millionth of what was its initial price. Like even if no matter like how bad a project is, it really won't go down a millionth. It will maybe go down 90% and then everybody leaves. But because they had the infinite minting model, that was the bad choice. But I do understand like why he did that. Like he probably believed that since people would buy UST and sell Luna, UST would at some point get back to $1 and everything would be back to normal. But so the expectation was wrong. So that was a critical mistake that he made. Um, some positive things about his leadership is that I think the competitiveness of Luna itself is that he really makes all the decisions. That's why it could um, build and expand so fast. If they were like a DAO, like, okay, what do you think? What do you think? Let's gather some ideas. It would have been much slower, but he would have probably been like, okay, what you're saying is wrong. We got to do this. Listen to me. No, stop talking. That's,
Mhm.
I'm guessing that's what probably happened. So that's the reason how it became so big. That's also the reason how they could smoothly, if it was smooth, get to Terra 2.0. And yeah, so there's so many good things, so many bad things. Like if a normal CEO does 6 things well and 4 things poorly, Dokon probably does like 600 things well, 400 things poorly. The ratio is probably the same. It's just much more decisions in his hands. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got a lot riding on his shoulders. So, this crash has shown just how volatile the crypto market can be. So, that being said, what are your lowest price predictions for the majors, such as Bitcoin, in the coming months?
I was thinking about 10K all the time. Like definitely it's going to go to 10K, but like I'm skeptical about myself because I've so far seen nobody agree with me, even if Bitcoin is very having a hard time maintaining 30K. Like I think people are underestimating like how inflated this current global market is right now. Like we've been printing out money for 2 years and everyone's like, oh, since nothing happened for 2 years, I guess it's fine when we raise the interest rate. It's just like if you see the chart, like in the past 2 years, we printed money more than how much we could do in 20 years since the year 2000. And if this could just be like go off when we raise the interest rate, what that means is that we could do this over and over again. And it just makes no sense. In my country, so let me just give you a few examples, which is not related to the crypto market. The younger generation, maybe like mid early 20s, everybody is wearing Louis Vuitton. Everyone is wearing Prada. The LVMH group is revenue is higher than ever. But the job rate's not the same. It's just the few minority of people have insane amount of money. There's so the what do you call that? All the real estate, the turnover rate for the real estate in Korea is more than twice. Everybody is trading real estate like it's some poker chip, you know? Where did all this money come from? Is this normal? Like when inflation finally catches up and when we have to raise the rates too high that people would start to go bankrupt, this would be much worse than 2008. Definitely. Like, so in that kind of market, I see no way like people maintaining maybe like 20K of Bitcoin, definitely around or less than 10K. Yeah. And other coins definitely lower. Ethereum definitely lower than 1,000. I don't have like a specific prediction for Ethereum, but maybe like $300.
Wow.
But the good thing is that we can always hold US dollar and buy Bitcoin when it's 10,000 Be happy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
my investment advice, the best investment to make right now is buy USDC, best crypto out there. Everything else is cash. Everything else is not as much as cash. USDC is cash as well, but of course, best investment is gold.
Yeah. Here's some alpha for you guys at home. Yeah, so it actually doesn't seem like Baekdu did very badly because of the crash. So how, I mean you guys are still here for one, and you seem very, even though, your prediction was a little scary, I can see you're still staying optimistic in this. So what kind of lessons are you going to bring forward that you learned from the crash?
In this recent crash that happened like for the last month, I think we made more profit than we did for the last 3 years in probably
Combined or
combined. All
wow.
combined. Yeah. So, like, I shouldn't really say this, but we've been really happy the last month. Like, but I don't think we took advantage of anybody else.
Mhm.
The opportunity was just so clear. So, and since are going into a bear market, it's really good to have some cash into going into the market. So we're pretty optimistic. And so what we learned in the market crash is that there's always opportunity in the market, whatever the circumstance. Because initially our circumstance was pretty bad too. We're an absolute return fund, and we were going maybe down minus 10%. And then I was like, oh no, what do I do? The traders were like, okay, we got to cash out right now. I was like, oh, okay, let me think about this. So I was sitting in front of the desk for maybe like 3 or 4 hours and like, okay, let's wait for this moment, cash out everything else, and then trade, trade, trade. And then we made a lot of profit. So no matter how bad it is, as long as we have always have investment thesis and not give up, always good results.
Absolutely. Thank you. So what is your role within Baekdu Technologies?
Ah, so many. I wish somebody could help me out with this. So one thing is that I'm not a developer and I'm not a quant. Um, I do study a lot of DeFi. So one thing I do in the DeFi trading side is I initiate the strategies, and then the developers and the quants would carry on. And then from that point, I would become a project manager, manage like how the project is being developed. And for the deck side, I would be a business developer, like legal things, partnerships, new features, and then everything else that needs to be done in the business. Yeah, I do.
Absolutely. Wow. Got a lot on your plate. So when can we expect to see the decks? Baekdu decks?
Actually, fourth quarter, I think this year, we will launch the beta in the third quarter. It's going to be derivatives decks on layer two. We're currently focusing on Arbitrum and Optimism. If Ethereum 2.0 comes in time, we would probably go for Ethereum. But since they said they're gonna launch this October, we're guessing maybe like next October because they're always a year late. So yeah,
Yeah.
please post it for Q4. Big do.
Okay. How exciting. So what are your financial goals for the remainder of 2022?
Financial goals. Wow. Um, I mean, can I say I don't have any?
Absolutely, you can. Okay, so let's just go for other goals, I guess.
Personal goals? Well, I do have some personal goals, but I don't think it's suitable for an interview. I kind of want to make a girlfriend this year, but
Oh, well, if anyone watching, we've got an amazing candidate
Uh,
right here.
yeah, if you live in Korea, give me a call.
Yeah. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to give us a like, comment, and subscribe so you never miss any alpha. If you'd like to trade crypto, make sure you check out Globe Exchange, where we offer a range of different products such as volatility trading to your traditional spot and perpetual markets. Happy Globe trading! See you next time. Bye.